Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. Welcome to Lira and Law, and thank you very much for joining me during our today Thursday again, during our usual Thursday get together, Magandang Huwebes po sa inyong lahat, It's last Thursday of the month na, Wow, ang bilis-bilis ng panahon. It is astonishing how time passes. Oh, actually, I should introduce myself, especially for the newcomers, no? Ang pangalan ko po, Lira Simong Kabadbat. I am a solicitor in the United Kingdom. And my office is Douglas Simon Solicitors. We are based in Richmond, Greater London. So the last stop of the district line kami. I've been a solicitor for 33 years. Can you believe it? Ang bilis-bilis ng panahon, no? I've been post-qualification lang yun, post-qualification experience of 33 years. Astonishing, and it's been a blast so far and continues to be, especially in the field of immigration. So it's I've been doing this nga a while. As I say, over 3 decades. So hindi pa kasama yung pag-aaral ko, which was 3 years plus another year for that at the time called solicitors finals nga, and then on top of that, training. Those of you who are studying now, you know about the training. So that's post qualification experience of 33 years. My office, Douglas Simon Solicitors, we've been established for 28 years. So I'm a bit being qualified longer than my office has been around, obviously, but so I've been doing this a while. So I'm so pleased you could join me today, for again, yet another day in my over 33 years post-qualification experience. And now, as usual in Lira and Law, we're going to be discussing issues that concern you, legal issues, of course, that concern you. And as usual nga, ang topic natin, it comes from you, and because who best to decide what's needed and what's relevant, but you. So, but usually, meron tayong mga star question, Isang nga star question, we pick one. But today, we have a lot of questions. So, but the majority are asking about the skilled worker route. In the olden days, ang tawag nga work permit, and then it became tier 2. Ngayon, it's called skilled worker route nga. Yun ang pag-uusapan natin. But there's no specific question, just because, as I say, the majority of our questions nga today is to do with skilled workers. Just on that, actually, again, because of the questions that we've received, and of which many nga. Next week po, ang topic natin, carers. Carers in the United Kingdom, which also come under the skilled worker route, but specifically carers nga. So kung pumunta nga kayo dito as a carer, nandito kayo, nagtatrabaho nga kayo, o gusto nyo pumasok as a carer, there been changes in the rules and will likely also further changes in the rules. Yun ang pag-uusapan natin next week. Okay? So I'm going to be dealing with the specifics nga, of the carer visa. But that's next week. But today also we're dealing with skilled worker, but various things actually. So skilled worker questions natin, someone's been here nearly 5 years, nagbago nga, they change employment. Does that mean they can still make the application o hindi na ba? I've been asked also, dependence of skilled workers, is it possible to bring them still into the United Kingdom? So all sorts of things. But hindi nga lang yun. We even have a question about Filipino obtaining nga visa to Egypt. So it's as usual. They're all great questions, and they've come from you. So yung topic natin. So we don't have a specific star question because you're all star questions tonight. So I hope that you'll be able to continue joining me, or if you haven't logged on yet, do now. And if you have any questions, of course, kung gusto niyo akong batiin, I hope you do, then you just need to do so. Just ping me an email, just say hello, But kung nahihiya kayo, hindi nga din problema. Manood nga lang kayo. And if you have, of course, friends, family who you think may be interested or indeed may be helped by our topic today or previous topics nga natin, share our link. Sharing is caring. Diba? Yun sabi nila. Now, so we're not. I'm not gonna go on too much more. That we need the time because we have so many questions for our discussion. So we're going to take a quick break. Saglit nga lang po, and then we're going to launch into our topic, skilled workers, and all the questions nga. See you in a moment. Saglit lang po. You caught me off guard, kind of listening to our tune going like this. Anyway, welcome back, and thank you again for joining me at Lira in Law, our Thursday get together between 7:30 and 8:30 p.m. every Thursday, broadcasting live from London, England. My name is Lira Kabatbat. As I say, I'm a solicitor of over 33 years post-qualification experience, and my firm, Douglas Simon Solicitors, have been established for 28 years, nearly as old as me. And we're based in London, Greater London, in Richmond, lovely neck of the woods in Richmond. Anyway, so thank you again for joining me, and I hope that you will find our topic now today interesting. I certainly find it interesting. It's to do with skilled workers. So let's launch into it. Let's look at the questions na nga, no? So let's just deal with the first question. Right, so sandali nga lang to. Okay. Okay, so I need advice as I am dependent on a 5-year skilled worker visa, but I just discovered my visa was canceled on the 18th of July without my knowledge, as my share code no longer works. And although my wife and I have had minor issues, nothing serious, no? What should be my next step? Wow, this is terrible, no? Now, unang-una ito, share codes. Let's talk about share codes, no? Share codes are not valid forever, okay? You know that you can get many share codes. There's not even any limit as to the share codes that you can get. But share codes are only valid for 3 months, and then it expires automatically. You don't need to do anything; it just expires now. Or if you use it, you can't reuse it again. Yeah, so it's only usable once. So if you give it to an employer or the bank, once they've used it, that's it. That share code is gone. And again, after 3 months that share code is also expired. So unang payo ko, you should have another go at obtaining a new share code, no? If you were using, kung sinubukan mo, binigay mo sa trabaho mo nga share code, sabi no, it's not working anymore, because it could be that it's just expired. So before worrying, look at that first. Is it simply the share code that has an issue? No? Now, sabi mo dito, although your wife and you have had minor issues, nothing serious, no? So talk to her. Anong ginawa ba niya? Because for your dependent visa on a skilled worker route to be, if you like, canceled, no, curtailed in this case, no, pinutol nga nila. There must the only way that I would imagine that could happen would be kung sumulat siya sa home office, no, and sinabi niya, wala na kami. No, the relationship is finished, and therefore she is no longer my dependent. So, kausapin mo siya. Ano bang ginawa niya? Now, if it's simply, I mean, they're not infallible, the Home Office. So if it's simply a mistake they have made, then you should absolutely raise that now with them. I suppose the problem is it's not really an application that they've decided. So administrative review, which is the Home Office looking at it again, that may not be as a process applicable. You can't appeal because this is not the kind of um, uh, visas for skilled workers. So the main applicant and indeed yung dependents, they're not challengeable, if you like, no, as an appeal. So what you could do, I suppose, is make another application nga was you in the UK. But ang problema nga, strictly speaking, kung talaga natapos nga ang visa mo on the 18th of July, then you no longer have leave to remain in the United Kingdom. No? So in that case, if you can't challenge by an appeal, and you may not get it because of an application nga, and hindi nga sila nagkamali because you then established, in fact, your wife did this, no, and you can't make it, if your application is then unsuccessful, then you may be faced with possibly two options. One option is what's called judicial review. Okay, there are quite a few stages before you go to court for judicial review. That is challenging the Home Office's process, so they've not properly dealt with it. I don't know kung hindi silang nagkamali. Or alternatively, uuwi ka sa atin, babalik ka nga dito on this basis. But again, the problem there is, strictly speaking, your visa has lapsed. It's not an easy situation to be in. But as I say, unang-una, checkin mo muna, is it an issue with the share code mismo? So kung sabihin ng asawa mo, no, walang problema, I didn't write to them. What's the issue here? So it could be the share code that's an issue. But kung ako ikaw, also you can ask for a copy of your file, no? So for those of you who want to know anong background nyo, no, what has the Home Office been noting, no, you can actually ask for your file, ang tawag subject access request. You can do that online, and I think there's a fee, but not very much. You need to just prove that that's actually you, and they then need to provide you with a copy of your computer data, which is actually mainly what they keep. The Home Office nga, papadala nila yun sa inyo. Usually, i-email nga nila. They have 40 working days, so 2 months nga to provide it. But my experience is normally they send it to you within the month nga. No? So if you want to know, as I say, what the Home Office are holding in the way of data for you, anyone who has a file with the Home Office nga, who's made an application with the Home Office, is entitled to get apply for subject access request. Yun tawag, no? So yun. So you can also see that then. So gawin mo yun, so that at least you get that. So just to summarize, checkin mo nga, is it the problem with your share code? For goodness sake, kausapin mong asawa mo. Anong ginawa ba niya? And also get a copy of your file. Okay. Now, once you have done all those, tapos talagang wala kang visa, I think you must see a solicitor. No, that it's not one that can be easily fixed in this case because it seems something happened. No, if it's not the share code, then likelihood is yung asawang sumulat sa kanila. Maybe she wrote, at the heat of the moment. But it needs to be fixed clearly because at the moment you can't even work. No, so you should see a solicitor. But yeah, so do take those initial steps and keep me informed. Keep me informed because it's an unusual situation to be in. Most of my clients, when that happens, they know exactly what led to it. But it's not appealable in the normal sense. Okay. Good luck. Keep me informed. Huh? Now, I'm sure we have the next question. Okay, so I was granted my visa a few weeks ago and will be flying to the UK next week. Oh, good. But I just discovered that my consultancy accidentally uploaded the wrong work experience letter, stating junior PHP developer instead of my actual role, which is junior Python developer, even though my visa was approved. So will immigration officers check these documents on arrival? And could this mistake put me at risk of deportation? Okay, two separate things. Now, For those of you like me, who is programming wise, computer programming wise, completely oblivious, no real, no real knowledge actually, of computer programming or programmers nga. The two are quite different. I looked into it actually. I was a PHP developer and what is a Python developer nga, and I can see, they look similar, but they're definitely different. Now, your first question nga, when you come to the UK, are they going to check the documents on arrival? No, they probably won't. I mean, it would surprise me if they do, because by the time you come into the UK, that's all been checked already. So the immigration officer will take it as read that you were able to prove that in fact you are indeed entitled to enter, that you can come into the UK because they've given you the visa nga, under the skilled worker route, for example. But the problem is the second issue. Sabi mo dito, is that going to put you at risk of deportation? Now, just be careful. Deportation and removal are quite different. Deportation usually means there's some criminal element. I don't think you will be subject to deportation, but of course, you could get you could have your visa rescinded on the basis that actually that you was given on wrong grounds. Now, if you were granted, I know you must have been given a certificate of sponsorship based on the wrong experience, then your employer will say, well, we've employed you on this basis, but you don't have the experience, because the two are so incredibly different. So you may find actually that they will, and they have to inform the Home Office that this is actually wrong. So you may find that they will rescind, babawiin nila yung they have to tell the Home Office. So you have that's more the problem. So again, if I were you, I would just check, because there's consultancies or agencies sometimes. It could be nakamali nga sila, but it could be that they also sent the other one, the correct one nga. You should perhaps speak with your employer, and tingnan mo, what are they expecting from you? Because at the moment, they're expecting someone who is a PHP developer, but you don't have that experience. You are a junior Python developer. So it's actually important for you to raise it with your prospective employer, because it could be that they have some need for your experience, Python developer. I mean, if they're in that field anyway, in which case, okay, you have to start over, but at least it'll be on a proper basis. Okay. Again, look, keep me informed. It's a great question, because I've not actually I've not come across this issue before. That a sponsorship was a cost, and therefore then a visa was granted on a completely wrong experience, because you would think they would check the yung employer mo nga. I mean, both jobs posts are actually needed, so better to speak with your employer nga and get this sorted bago ka papasok dito. Because if you come into the UK and actually then this all comes about, pagka uuwi ka sa atin, and then you come back into the United Kingdom, you may find there's a problem, because they may then say you entered the United Kingdom by deception, and that will cause issues, because that may stop you from coming back to the UK. So best to get it sorted out now. Yun ang payo ko. Okay. Good luck. Let me know what happens. So now, I'm sure we have some more questions. Sandali nga lang. Let me have a look. Okay. All right. I'm a Filipino currently in the UK on a skilled worker visa, and I want to bring my spouse and child here to live with me. I've heard of many Filipinos facing delays or refusals when applying for dependent visas. What steps should I take in my situation to make sure the application goes smoothly and gets approved without issues? Okay. Well, I mean, it's because you're on the skilled worker nga, it shouldn't be, you should not even need necessarily to prepare statements or anything like that. You need to just make sure that your of course that your job is fine, tapos your income is fine nga. Submit the application. If you're married to your spouse, of course, kailangan nyo pakita yung marriage contract nyo, child, of course, birth certificate. I can't see that it will necessarily be an issue, assuming, of course, no, beware with healthcare workers, no. So if you're a healthcare worker, sabihin natin carer ka nga, no, and you were granted a visa before the 11th of March 2024, okay, then you can still apply for your family to your dependents more to come into the UK. But if you were granted a visa after the 11th of March 2024, if you are a carer, on that basis, then you can't bring dependents anymore. No? So that so I'm assuming hindi nga yun ang visa mo. No? If you're a nurse, hindi nga yung problema. So there's nothing really necessarily you need to do, just to make sure that all your paperwork is in order. They will look at the same thing. Is your income still okay? Are you still working for in compliance with your certificate of sponsorship? Any issues with character nga? Are you really married to your partner? If it's a spouse application nga, the child, are you on the birth certificate? So that, you should be fine. I mean, yung sometimes it's chismis nga lang, no? Problema to. It kind of stems from the fact that there are massive changes that have happened in relation to carers nga, and that sometimes is then applied across board. So it just people then say, oh, you can't now bring family into the UK. You can no longer apply for indefinite leave to remain if you're a carer. So all of those things kind of blown out of proportion. That's why I'm going to be dealing with care specifically, next week. So just make sure your paperwork's in order, because it's that kind of application. It's a points based, and that's all you can do. You don't necessarily even need to prepare a statement. You can, but you don't necessarily need to prepare it, to submit because of the type of application they are making. Good luck. Keep me informed, because it is it can be daunting. I mean, it is daunting to make an application for leave for entry clearance visa to the United Kingdom. But let me know what happens, and I hope that they can come into the UK. And make sure you tune in also next week, because next week I'll also be dealing, of course, with what happens kung nandito kayo before the change in the law. You want to apply for indefinite leave to remain. What can you do? And any changes. Anyway, hopefully that's helpful to you. And share this to your spouse. Siguro nag-aalala nga din siya. Kung nag-aalala ka, siguro siya nga din. Good luck. Now, I'm sure I have some more questions. So sandali nga lang. Okay, so actually, let me just have a look. So I'm a Filipino on a skilled worker visa, and will soon be eligible for ILR, indefinite leave to remain. But I recently changed employers with the same visa category. Will this job change affect my ILR eligibility? And what documents or steps should I take to make sure my application is not refused? Now, the answer is you should still be able to apply now for indefinite leave to remain. But there's a bit more to it now, So a change of employer does not mean that you have to start over. Changing employers on a skilled work visa should not impact on your eligibility for settlement. You need to be able to show 5 years at the moment, leave to remain on this basis, continuous okay? 5 years leave to remain. So pwede mong idugtong the previous employment to this employment. Okay, but bear in mind, in May, the white paper published for the government, noting their intention in relation to immigration, they want to extend the 5 years to 10 years. So that will likely happen. So But a tip is this, no? So sabi mo nga dito, your unskilled worker will soon be eligible for ILR. Now, when your employer says to you, okay, we're going to give you you know, a cost, a certificate nga of sponsorship, yung panibang mo employer, kung malapit ka na, no, to ILR, then you don't actually need, for example, you know, if they say, oh, we'll give you 3 years, pero kung malapit ka na, you only need a year or indeed 2 years nga, then you don't need the extra, no? Because the more time you're seeking, the more expensive it actually is, no, and also for them. So I would say just enough really to get you over the 5 years nga. And at the moment it's still 5 years, but that can change fairly quickly. It's so for example, on the 22nd of July, so last month, they the occupation code 6135 care workers and home cares and 6136 senior care workers will no longer be eligible codes for skilled worker applications from overseas. No more recruitment, no more they're not issuing costs anymore to carers, not even senior carers, care workers, as over the 22nd of July 2025. Okay, unfortunately, that was I'm not entirely convinced that was the right thing to do. I know there've been issues nga with recruitment, but I think it's a bit drastic given that there's still quite a lot of need, and there will continue to be quite a lot of need now for carers. But anyway, it's one of the things that we're going to be talking about next week. So it's you should still be able to. And yung question mo sa akin, what can you do in order to maximize your chance of success? Get your paperwork together. Make sure that you have proof of your previous employment. You have proof that of your current employment. So I can't see, at least at the moment. So the only thing I would say you need to worry about, and this it may be helpful for you to tune in every week, is if there's a change that catches you out, as in rather than 5 years, you actually now you may need to show 10 years. At the moment, it is planned, pero hindi pa nangyayari. Okay. So good luck with that. Oh, don't forget, you need to do your life in the UK, of course. Yeah. To apply life in the UK test, you need to pass, which at the moment you can also use later on for your naturalization, i.e. British passport. So you should do it. If you haven't done it, do it. Now, next question po natin. Oh, I like this one. It's to do with visiting Egypt. Why not? Ask the question, no? So I would like to seek your advice, Sabian, regarding traveling to Egypt. I'm a Philippine passport holder, currently residing in the UK under a spouse visa. I'm planning a short holiday to Egypt, but I'm uncertain about the visa requirements. Do I need to apply in advance at the Egyptian consulate here in the UK, or would I be eligible for a visa on arrival, considering my valid UK residence visa? I've read conflicting information online, so I would appreciate your professional guidance on the correct process. I'm not surprised that it's been confusing for you, because the information is not very readily available. Not even the consulate. So it's a question really of piecing information together. And what I gleaned from my research for you is this. So because you're a holder of you're a Filipino passport holder, Philippine passport holder ka, you need to get a visa before you enter Egypt. It's not Philippines is not one of the countries that they allow to simply get a visa on entry. So you need to apply for a visa at the consulate. For tourist visas nga, you can apply for single entry, so it's valid, so a bit cheaper, valid for 30 days. or multiple entry, no, valid for 6 months nga, 30 days stay per visit. I'm going to email you later on where I got the information from substantially. So that's the egyptconsulate.co.uk visa. So I'll email that. No, so wait for my email later on. So if you click on that link, that gives them to you. By the way, on that, I'll just remind you, when you make an application, they need a share code from you. Okay, so you should be able. You're a spouse dependent of spouse holder, so you will need you can get a share code, I'm sure, and you should also not have an issue now because you have a visa, I suspect, for 2.5 years, no, and with the view to getting settlement, so it shouldn't be a problem really. But you do need to follow their the process nga. So you can make an application in person, no, or you can post it. No, I could not see, unfortunately, an online type application. But there you go. So good luck. I hope you have a great time. I've been to Egypt just the once. Great. No, it's a beautiful country. So interesting, of course. No, the pyramids and everything else. And so no. I hope you have a good time. Okay? Now, question natin ito. So I previously stayed in the UK for 5 months on a visitor visa and have since returned to the Philippines. I'm now considering applying again for another visitor visa while we continue saving for a spouse visa application. My concern is whether my previous 5-month stay might affect the chances of approval for second visitor visa. Could you kindly advise me on the likelihood of approval and any steps I should take to strengthen my application? I like this question also. It's actually a fairly common scenario. So, for example, a few things, a few matters kind of similar to this at the moment. So yung kalayante ko, hindi pa sila ready to come into the UK as a spouse for various reasons. And they want to come to the UK nevertheless, to just have, if you can hear that, that's not me making the noise, yung aso ko. That's Watson, the big Labrador dog. Anyway, he's on his way out again. So we're back to the quiet. No? Now, sorry, I digress. Now, so if so yung kalayante ko nga, they want to, she wants to come into the UK initially as a visitor until they can be ready to applying out for a spouse visa. So it's actually quite a common situation, no? It's also spouse visas it's more expensive, and of course there's the issue of income now, which is £29,000. And one client of mine, it's mainly because of the income requirement. So ang asawa niya doesn't quite reach the 29,000, but will reach 29,000 probably by next April, no, which is usually the tax year. Anyway, in your case, sabi mo dito, dumating ka dito, 5 months ka nga dito, tapos bumalik ka sa Pinas, gusto mong pasok nga, bumalik nga dito. Fair enough. Check this first before you make another application. Nung pinasok mo yung application mo, the spouse, the visit visa nga, they would have asked you how long you're planning to stay in the UK. Did you say then 5 months? Or indeed 6 months? If you said then 1 month nga lang or 2 weeks, and actually, even though the visa was for 6 months, nga, but you actually stayed beyond what you declared, it doesn't mean that you breached your immigration condition. But of course, strictly speaking, you have not followed what you said you would do. No? So if you said 2 weeks or 1 month, so under the 5-month period, if you said 6 months, you went back in 5 months, hindi yung problema. But if you declared less than 5 months, and actually you stayed then 5 months, you need to explain that. So ang tip ko, kung yun ang nangyari nga, when you submit your next application, explain it. Ano bang nangyari? No? I mean, it could be anything. It could be na may nagkasakit, o kaya somehow your employer said, well, okay, go, no, go for sabbatical, then an additional. So you just took advantage and stayed a bit longer. Nga. But you need to explain why there's a discrepancy between what you declared, despite the fact that you got a 6-month visa, and what actually then happened. If you don't explain it, then they may refuse it. And then on top of that, they may say not just refuse it, but they may say that they're unhappy that you may have committed some deception, making false representations at the first application. If there's a discrepancy, then you should be careful in making another visit visa application. Um, unless it's necessary, then I would say you may want to simply wait until you can actually apply for a spouse visa if there's a discrepancy. They don't like that. And I guarantee na titignan nga nila yung application mo. But if it's a must that you need to do it, you need to make an application, then you should explain it. What's the reason for the change? Okay, yun. So that's what my tip is. Good luck. I hope you can come in and enjoy yourself, because it's a long time to be away from your other half not being able to come to the UK, and the advantage of coming into the UK on that basis is kung wala kang trabaho, or you can take a longer holiday, pagka nandito ka na, you have 5 months or indeed 6 months, Kung siyang uuwi, it could be na they can only take a holiday for maximum 1 month. So yeah, I can see why you want to do this pending your application for spouse visa. For the spouse visa, remember, I know you haven't asked, but remember, ang income requirement now is £29,000. Yeah. Sa spouse mo. You can, some cases, add your, kung kulang nga, you can combine your savings, or his savings or her savings nga, plus the income. The savings must be no less than £16,000. And there's a formula. If you want to know it, ask me. I'm happy to send that to you, the formula. Good luck. I hope that goes well. And again, keep me informed. Kayong lahat, no? You've been very kind to ask the question and allow me to speak about it on live, no? But keep me informed, because as much as I enjoy going through the questions, and I do, I'm also very, very curious and truly interested in what happens next. And people never tell me what happens next, so I'm left guessing. So tell me, please, now what's happened, right? Now, okay, so another question, but this time a refusal question. Again, if you're looking to make an application, you should also pay attention to this, no? Because it's it doesn't refusals can happen. So sabi niya dito, I recently received a refusal for my unmarried, so same-sex dependent partner visa. Biometric on the 8th of May, additional documents requested 25th of May, and submitted 31st of May, decision issued on the 30th of June. So, ang bilis, no? Okay. It was a refusal, and I would like to ask whether it's more advisable to pursue an administrative review or to submit a fresh application, and if so, when would our earliest I can reapply? Now, a few things to say about this, no? Una nga, the refusal can be challenged with these types of application, not by way of administrative review, but rather it would be an appeal, no? Because I'm assuming that this is yung partner mo nandito on indefinite leave to remain, no? But if not, because they're here, say on a skilled worker route, then yes, administrative review a possibility. But either way, you're out of time, no? Because it's 28 days. 28 days to appeal, 28 days also for administrative review. So you're out of time. Now, sometimes also it's better just to make a new application, but you need to just check what it is that caused them issue. No? So it could be, they would have said in the refusal, why did they refuse it? Is it because the income is not enough? No, your partner's income is not enough. Is it because they are not convinced about the genuineness of relationship? Because of course, especially kung nasa Pilipinas ka nga, no, you're not able to marry, it's not recognized in the Philippines, and you can't also. So it could be na kulang nga yung pinadala nyo, so to show that you are indeed um, in a relationship like a marriage. Actually, let me just elaborate on that a little bit more. In order to succeed with an application as an unmarried partner, if you like, no, you need to be able to show that you have been in a relationship like a marriage. Also, oftentimes they say akin to marriage, a minimum of 2 years. You don't necessarily need to be living together for that time, but although, of course, if you're living together for that time, even better. But if you're not, and I have a lot of clients nga with this situation dahil nasa Pilipinas nga sila, na yung partner nila nandito, no? But it has to be a relationship like a marriage, and they mean that, no? So what they want to see is sharing of resources, for example, okay, or bills, no, in joint names. If you have bank account together, for example, pinapadalang ka ng pera buwan-buwan, no, at ang tinitira mo yung bahay niya, you need to actually say it. And what a tip ko ito, especially with these types of applications, because they get quite the home office are generally traditional, no, and if you're not married, and of course in your case you can't get married because it's a same-sex relationship if you're in the Philippines, they want to really know if it's why you're not married, and also you really must provide evidence that you are in a relationship like a marriage, a minimum of 2 years, and they mean it, so as I say, my first the first documents I go to is remittance slips. Pinapadalang ka ba? And usually sa atin, uso na nga bank to bank, no? So you have to provide your bank account, your bank statement mo, bank statement niya. And you should have it for 2 years, no? To show nga. And then on top of that, accommodation, no? So is it owned by your partner? Or if it's not, then if it's rented, sinong babayad ng renta? Bills, no? The bills in your partner's name. O nakatira ka sa magulang niya, no? Sa kapatid niya. So in which case you need a letter from them. So you really do need to show evidence that you are in a relationship like a marriage. Now, going to your last question, equally important, of course, is when can you apply? Now, no? This you can apply as soon as you've had a refusal. But beware, as I say, don't just apply for the sake of applying, no? Or if you're submitting the same documents, because they're just going to refuse it again. So papatungan mo lang problema. So importante nga din na ready ka. So don't submit your application until you are ready. And you must address really their issues. Anong problema nila? I suspect that you may not have provided enough evidence that you are in a relationship like a marriage, a minimum of 2 years. Another tip, prepare a statement, okay? For you both, yung partner mo tsaka ikaw. Setting out what it is that why you say that you are in a relationship like a marriage. Start off with saying you start your relationship on so-and-so date. You cannot marry in the Philippines because it's not recognized legally, but you have been in a relationship like a marriage, and here's evidence. Ilagay nyo, no? So it's for you to prove your case, no? And yung partner mo should also prepare a statement. It doesn't have to be overly long. Sasabihin nga lang niya, she's read your statement and confirmed it to be true as far as facts known to her. We just add the following, for example, no? So lagay nga dyan, kailan siya dumating dito, anong sweldo niya, siya nakatira nga dito, nagpapadala siya. So the two together should be convincing enough, no, to prove to the Home Office na talagang meron kayong relasyon, and like a marriage, no, not just boyfriend or girlfriends nga, but actually like a marriage. So that requires financial commitment, never mind also the time, which is minimum of 2 years. Good luck. Again, please let me know. No, let me know what happens. So, because it's a bit like watching a film and then not seeing the end. It's frustrating. So put me out of my misery. Tell me what happens, please. Okay. Now, another question, of course, no? Currently, naka-fiancé visa po ako. Pero hindi kami nagpakasal pa, no? Dahil naubos ang oras, kaantay ng visa ko sa Pinas. At pagdating ko dito, malapit na akong manganak. Oh, congratulations. After nanganak siya, no? Naging mahirap din dahil sa baby at sa trabaho ng fiancé ko. Lalo na wala siyang kamag-anak dito. Okay. Ngayon, malapit na mag-expire ang fiancé visa ko. Plano naming umuwi ng baby sa Pinas, no? Para magbakasyon. Okay? Ang tanong ko po ito, kung mag-a-apply ako ulit ng visit visa sa Pinas, maapektuhan po ba ito dahil hindi kami nagpakasal dito during the validity of my fiancé visa? Plano po namin magpakasal sa Poland dahil nandoon ang pamilya niya. Thanks in advance, sabi niya, no? Now, this is again a great question. So just to summarize, because there are quite a lot of facts, no? So she's in the UK, no? Nandito ka. Hindi ka kasal, pumasok ka dito as a fiancé. But for various reasons, you have not been able to marry, no? But anyway, nagka-problema nga yung trabaho ng fiancé mo. So I suspect that the income is now under the £29,000. Or if you entered the UK prior to April 2024, or if you got your fiancé visa, I should say, not entered the UK, before April 2024, the income requirement was 18,600, and that will remain the case. No, mating ka dito as a fiancé before April 20. If you got your visa, I should say, not you entered, but if you got your visa before April 2024, then the income requirement is 18,600. If it's after that time, it's £29,000. So you're on. Now you want to go back to the Philippines and then you want to come back into the UK, and I'm just a bit confused. Sabi mo dito, visit visa or a fiancé visa. So actually, no visit visa sabi mo, no? Because then you're looking to marry in Poland. So that's yun ang scenario natin. Now, the first thing I would say is consider whether you actually want to delay, no, marrying and making an application on the basis of your relationship, if the income is enough. Now, kung ang income niya is 18,600 plus, and you, as I say, you were granted your fiancé visa before April 2024, ang payo ko, get married, make the application first, because 18,600, of course, is considerably less than the £29,000. Yeah? Now, because also of the time that you have been together, so nandito ka, you probably 6 months, you were probably together before that, no? And meron na kayong baby nga ngayon, you may not necessarily even need to marry. You know, our viewer nga from before, they made an application as unmarried under the unmarried partner route, no? Which means if you can show na talagang 2 years na nga kayo and you've been in a relationship like a marriage, even though you're not in a same-sex relationship, pwede niyo pa rin gamitin. It's unmarried partner route. So, but there you have the 2 years. So, ibig sabihin, uuwi kayo, and then you can make an application actually from the Philippines to come back into the UK if you can show 2 years. But that does not get away from the income requirement. That's why I'm saying, kung nandito ka, o nakuha mo yung visa mo before April 2024, when the minimum income requirement was £18,600, then it may be worthwhile trying desperately now to get married, make an application, because you're closer then to the £18,600. You know? Pero kung uuwi ka ngayon, so you start over, then the minimum income requirement applicable is then 29,000 pounds. So think about that, no? If that's a sensible thing to do, to go back and then make an application. Now, if you're making an application dahil gusto nyo magpakasal nga sa Poland, you're making an application then for a visit visa, you have to be really careful because the Home Office may say may have issues with intention, no? Because you clearly entered the UK as a fiance, you then did not marry, no? So they may have some concerns also as to the genuineness of your relationship, but that should really be dealt with by the fact that meron kayong anak nga, no? So just, but they may say, well, you're coming in as a visitor, but wala ka na, because you have your family's here effectively, then that's probably not the real basis for your entry. So it could be that they refuse it because of that. They don't believe that actually that's the basis for your entry. So ingat ka, because you may find if you have a refusal nga, that may affect any future applications you then make. But as a starting point, kung ako ikaw, have a look to see if you can make an application in country. Alam ko may bakasyon nga kayo, but you need to think about, I'm not sure that would necessarily should be the priority nga dito. Now, dahil nandito ka na, nandito yung fiancé mo, okay, if you make an application and he does not satisfy nga the income, because you have a child together, it could be that the Home Office consider it to be an exceptional situation, no? Because otherwise, kailangan mong umuwi. Especially kung your fiancé has some income, hindi nga lang sapat. Because the Home Office may then exercise the discretion in your favor because of your child. Okay, if you make that application, mention, and people always forget this, even solicitors, Section 55 of the BCIA, that is child's best interest. Section 55. Again, if you want me to send you the link to that, let me know. Email me and I will. Okay. Now, I don't know if we have any other questions. Let me just check now. It could be that that's finally the end of our questions. Now, meron pa tayong a few minutes because I wouldn't wish not to have the batian. I know it's already 8:30, but maybe we can squeeze in some people saying hello, no? David Calixto II. Good morning, watching from Philippines. Hello, David. Kamusta? Hopefully, walang bagyo nga sa ating ngayon, no? Guy, the great guy from London. Not so hot Thursday to Attorney Lira and to the viewers. I work from home today. I'm taking care of Justin now. Oh, his little boy. Still good news, Attorney Lira. I'm still tap send ambassador. It's a money remittance to Philippines. Bonus of £15 for first-time users. Looking forward to lots of learning again, and to Attorney Lira's lovely voice. Guy, the great guy. He really is such a committed dad. Natalia de Guzman. Hello, madam. So sorry to miss 2 weeks of the discussion. Had severe flu. Oh no, need to rest more. Wow, talaga. Actually, I was talking to someone the other day. Meron akong sipong konti. Sabi niya sa akin, calamansi. What a blast from the past, no? But they don't sell calamansi here. I think the closest really limes or lemon, no? Take some. Marilyn Jones, Miss Jones, happy Thursday to Attorney Lira and all viewers. Another enjoyable, informative evening for us all. Salamat, Miss Jones. She is great. We love Miss Jones. She's a great dancer also. Don't ask me how I know. Outcast, hello. Good evening to all. How's everyone? Yeah, no. How is everyone? I hope you're enjoying nearly the end of the summer, no? Ma'am Cora Carsola, no? Hello. Oh, she's so kind. Hello, pretty Attorney Lira, sabi niya. Everyone, pagbati ng isang mapagpala. What deep Tagalog. She's like a poet, no? And fruitful night. I'm sure marami tayong dagdag kaalaman. Na matunghayan. I like that. We are truly, Tagalog is so poetic. Miss Rafael, Emmeline Rafael, and she's feeling good because look, she's all caps. Hello, good evening, Attorney Lira, and everyone. Happy Thursday, and enjoy everyone watching from home with my daughter. Oh, hello. Hi. Hello, daughter of Miss Rafael. Ma'am Cora, I'd love to Watson. Salamat po. I mean, since no, my dog Watson was featuring more than now nga, no? A lot. It's he's a very big Labrador, puti, no? And he likes food, like me, no? Miss Paner, Mariam Galicia Paner, sabi niya, hello po, Attorney Lira, at sa lahat, happy Thursday po, at sa lahat ng viewers, and another informative topic with Attorney Lira. Salamat, Miss Paner. Miss Paner and I go way back. We've been doing this for 5 years, di ba, no, Miss Paner? No? May Huang, no? Hello po, ma'am. May I know your email address? Yeah. Need to submit the docs. You were asking. Thanks po. Yeah, of course. Yeah. I will, if you email us, no, you just the show nga. I'll try and message you tomorrow. Okay? Now, so I think that may be, Mr. Guzman, the topics are really informative thanks to question senders. Na tama, no? It's been really it's a lot of questions, which is great, no? And it's all very relevant. That's why it's yung nga, focus ko always is to deal with questions from you, because who better would know what you think are relevant but yourselves, no? Nga. So let me just see if meron pa bumabati sa atin. Mr. Duay! Edgar, no? Magandang gabi. Sorry, I sounded very excited there because Mr. Edgar is lovely. He's such a talented man also. Magandang gabi, sabi niyo. Heart emoji, Attorney Lira. And everyone, magandang gabi po. I hope you're keeping well, sir. No? He's talented, that man. Truly. Na-late ako dahil galing sa work. Sorry. Miss you all. Maligayang kaarawan, no? Sa aking bunso, na magiging 18 na sa linggo. Happy birthday! Love you so much. Sabi niya, anak, tatay, love you so much. Congratulations! 18. Sir, tumatanda ka na. Happy birthday! Happy birthday! Happy birthday! Happy birthday! You're very lucky to have Mr. Duay as dad. Miss Nadella. Hello, Attorney Lira. Hello, madam. Are you well? What are you doing? Are you in the country at the moment? No? I hope. Actually, no, I don't hope. I hope you're on holiday. You deserve some holiday. Marian Isok Maglasang. Love watching you from Northern Ireland. Talaga? Salamat po. Thank you so much. Really, it's always a pleasure to be here. Truly, it always is. And I hope it comes across. I'm always excited to be here on the Thursday nga. Miss Paner, sabi po niya, opo, attorney, it's already 5 years na po. Salamat po. Yeah, 5 years. Astonishing. Half a decade we've been doing this nga, no? We've been broadcasting. You've been very kindly saying hello, emailing, sending your questions. And I really hope it's been helpful nga. And as I say, if you know someone who's going to be assisted, share it, no? Happy 18th birthday. No, talaga, happy 18th birthday to the Duay Bunso, no? Happy birthday. I won't sing you a happy birthday tune because you won't like it. Ni Huang sabi, thanks for the response. By the way, ako po yung from Plymouth. Ikaw ba? Okay, definitely send me your details. Papadala ko sa'yo, no? Papadala ko sa'yo. So, tingnan natin. Si Edgar Duay. My baby Anna is now 18. And I am getting old and crispy. Crispy. You and me both, sir. You and me both. Now, time has gone so fast. Speaking of, we've now we've overrun, no? Because it's been it's quite a lot of questions. Great questions nga, no? Now, so next week po, ang pag-uusapan natin, still we're sticking with the skilled worker route, but this time specifically carers. If you need to change employment, ano kailangan yung gawin? Can you still apply for indefinite leave to remain? Can you still bring your family into the United Kingdom? Any changes nga in between 5 years and 10 years? So we're also going to be looking at the white paper that was published in May to do with carers. So hopefully you will tune in. So it just leaves me to say salamat po sa inyong lahat again. Thank you also to the Facebook groups, no, that allow us to post our contents on their pages nga. And of course, yung mga viewers natin, mga kaibigan nga who being so kind every week to log in and give me your time. Really, it's much appreciated. I'm sure you could be doing something else, but I enjoy having you. So salamat po. So just leaves me again to say thank you po again for joining me. It's been a pleasure and a blast as always nga. And I hope to see you next week, same time, same place at Lira and Law. Good night.